This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed.
As we come on now, we have serious news of a major, very tragic
You remember everything on that day.
I can close my eyes and I can go back and see that day, that arrival time, pretty much that whole day, from going back, talking, like I said, to my mother on the phone, to me packing my bag, saying goodbye to my wife and children that were still in school, not knowing what was going to go on the rest of the day.
On September 11th, I was at home, off duty from work, when I witnessed the first plane go into the towers at the World Trade Center.
On 9/11, I was activated with Pennsylvania's Urban Search and Rescue Team as a task force leader, and we responded and arrived at New York City on the evening of September 11th, 2001.
I'm a canine handler and search specialist for Pennsylvania Task Force 1 since 1993, and on September 11th we responded with the team to the World Trade Center.
On 9/11/2001, I responded to the Flight 93 crash site in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
So when you first get there, all the dust and debris, everything was in black and white, meaning if you look at pictures, I remember pictures from my grandfather from World War II, everything was black and white. There was no color pictures back then. And that's what the whole World Trade Center complex looked like. We didn't get true color to that area until about night 3 when it rained and it started washing and knocking some of the silt and dust and debris down. And then you realize, okay, I've been climbing underneath or through a fire engine or an ambulance or whatever. And when those colors actually started coming to fruition.
There was a heavy air there. There was something in the air that something big had happened here today, and something that was beyond all of our comprehension as young policemen.
One of my most emotional memories was the dogs worked so hard to try to find someone, and there was a firefighter that came out from below the grade, below in the pile. He was covered with dirt from head to foot. All I could really see was the whites of his eyes and his mouth and some reflection on his reflective tape on his gear. And my dog was barking and barking at him, and he was so excited because he knew the dogs barked when they found somebody. And he's like, hey lady, your dog found someone, come with me. And I knew she was barking at him. She had found him below grade working and was so excited to have found him. And so it was disappointing for both of us, as humans, but the dog was happy because she felt like she did her job.
I was on a day off and I was at home and I was watching what was unfolding in New York on television, and I got a call from my station commander, from my sergeant, that said, everybody needs to come to work right now. We've had an event in Pennsylvania and I don't know what you're going to be doing yet, but it's going to be something, so get dressed and come to work. It became apparent right away, even to the leaders, that there really wasn't a state police operations manual that addressed what to do with an act of international terrorism involving an airplane in a field in rural Pennsylvania. So our leaders had to think on their feet and figure out what to do.
It was just so busy and so many things to do and trying to get information, and there was no time to really think about it. It was just get there, get over, get going.
There were so many forms of bravery that day by everybody, well above our standards. And those are the things that I try to tell people about and ask people to remember.
Pride that was in the country at that time was overwhelming, to tell you the truth. Even when we drove our convoy back to Pennsylvania, all the bridge overpasses were lined with American flags and people waving, actually saying thank you for what we did. And it was such a small part
Oh gosh, it's really hard to put into any kind of words. It's more of an emotion. It's like a time of year. It's a time of camaraderie in the country that we just don't have anymore. There's a lot of young people that don't even know what this time period represents, and the loss that the country went through. Excuse me. And I think of all the people on the streets as we would go into the site. Sometimes they'd take us in and out in big trucks, and we'd all be in the back, and my dog would be hanging over the edge, excited to see the people embarking, and the people would cheer and wave those signs that they carried, and there was just so much support for what everyone was going through. So I think about that a lot.
I feel an overwhelming sense of pride in my organization, in the Pennsylvania State Police, and what the men and women and our commanders did that day and the following days. The men and women that were around me during that event, I'll never forget them. I know their names, I know what they did. I talk to lots of them quite frequently, because we did something together there that changed the world.
Yeah, the people, the responders that day wouldn't change a thing. Most likely they would do it all over again. But there's a lot of them, even just from Pennsylvania Task Force 1, that have either died or fighting the cancers and stuff related to it. I myself included, so we would all do it again, even knowing the risks.